Welcome to Coffee with the Mayor. I'm Teresa Aronson from the St. Lucie County Chamber of Commerce. It is our pleasure, our honor to host this event every second Friday of the month. It is free. It's open to the public. We'd love to have you in our audience. We're going to throw in coffee and Danish courtesy of silver platter entrees. And as always, the reason why we do this event, my co-host, the one, the only, the mayor of the beautiful city of Port St. Lucie, Gregory Orvett.
Hey, good morning, everybody. Hey, Port St. Lucie.
Good morning.
Hey, hype girl. You're not supposed to be, you're supposed to be getting them hype.
She's filming us now. She's really
That's not in our contract. Yeah. It's strange. Well, good morning.
Good morning. It's nice to see you as always.
Well, it's a pleasure to be here.
It's a beautiful Chamber Friday.
It is. And we're in a chamber.
We are in a chamber.
That's
true. The audience agrees with you. Yeah. So we have a lot going on in Washington. We have a lot going on in Tallahassee. But what's going on here in the city of Port St. Lucie?
Well, lay it out for me. What do we have special guests today?
Do we have special guests today? Well, Brian Mass, representative, is with us today. Congressman Brian Mass.
Yeah, he's pretty special.
He is very special. I like him very much. He's a lovely man. He's with us. And do you have special guests that you brought?
Is Sean giving any awards out today?
Of course he is. Sean gives an award out every day.
All right.
What is the name of the award?
The name of his award is Children's Services Council Community Impact Award.
Yeah, very well done.
Thank you.
Firing all cylinders here in 2018.
We are.
Yeah.
We are. I'm feeling good about it.
Yeah.
But other than that, did you invite anybody special today?
Yep. All of these people out here?
All of these people that are probably residents of the beautiful city of Port St. Lucie?
Well, actually, we have a gentleman that's visiting from Chicago for 11 days. He's escaping the winter. He's evaluating Florida communities. And said, well, you found the perfect one. If you're in the market for Florida lifestyle, there's no better value than Port St. Lucie.
We got everything. Yeah.
That's right.
Why would you even continue looking?
So we're happy to have him.
Okay, very good. We are going into March coming up, spring weather, but they're getting a snowstorm up north, it looks like, in New York and in my hometown in the Midwest, Columbus. So I'm sure we'll see lots of others just like him very soon.
Oh, yeah, it'll keep on coming. And we have spring training coming up.
We do. It starts the 23rd, Friday.
Can we get a Let's Go Mets chant going out there?
Let's go Mets.
Come on, if the hype person was on it, we would be like, let's go Mets.
I'm failing at this job.
So imagine that, you got this beautiful table for us. It's nice and glossy, and it's going to have stuff on the front of it.
Yes.
If we had a computer here and we had the screen down, I'd just be able to go beep, 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 and then I'd be able to show you that Tim Tebow was on the Jimmy Fallon show.
I saw it.
Did you see that?
I saw it.
Yeah, excellent. It's on.
And he name dropped us a couple of times.
He did. Well, Mr. Fallon went to say St. Lucie, which of course is the county, and we have a St. Lucie Mets team. It's fine for you, but for us, it was really nice that Tim Tebow seems like it's such a nice kid, and he properly and politely corrected Mr. Fallon and said, Port St. Lucie.
You know what, though? I was just happy that both Jimmy Fallon and Tim Tebow were talking about our beautiful community on national TV. I don't know for sure, but I guess they have more viewers than we do on our little show here.
Slightly. It's only because we're in a regional market. If you looked at penetration, I don't know, we might be doing pretty well.
Oh,
yeah.
Okay, very good.
Yeah.
But yeah, it was very exciting, and he did know where he goes and spends his spring training days. We're hoping to get him back here at the Mets, but I guess you never know till the end of spring training, which this year is late, March 25th, I think they go to.
Yep. Well, pitchers and catchers are in, I think, in the next couple days, and then the kickoff is 2 Fridays from now?
Yeah, Friday the 23rd is opening day, so I'm excited about that. I'll be out there, as always. I like to support.
Oh, really? You're not in your office working hard for the chamber members? You're out on the field?
Well, I will give you the guest list.
I go to spring training just maybe once at lunchtime, and that's it.
Entertaining out there, and you'll know.
Okay, all right.
It's not like I'm taking my family.
You're networking. That's like a chamber networking event.
It is a chamber networking event, yeah. It's all the heavy hitters.
All right, I'm going to get in real big trouble. So some other good news that we received is that there is such a thing as a Florida Job Growth Grant Fund that was funded last year. If you follow the state legislature, you might have watched the back and forth. The governor was advocating very passionately for it, and there's always some three-way negotiations going up in Tallahassee. But it was funded, and of course, everyone wants to create jobs and have economic development. So not surprisingly, I think over 400 applications were submitted to this fund, or 100 and something communities, over $400 million worth of grant requests. And the governor on Tuesday announced the first 9 recipients, and the city of Port St. Lucie was one, and we were rewarded.
Very exciting.
So we received a $3 million grant. The city will use an economic development fund funded by developers,
Not by the city.
not by the city taxpayers, to build a loop road out in the Tradition Center for Commerce. So just to the south of the Center for Innovation, where you have Tradition Medical Center. And you have a great hotel in Torrey Pines, and the Florida Center for Biosciences, and a new Kaiser building, a new orthopedic center, new restaurants. We have miniature
plaza.
golf going out there. People are excited about that. But
Yeah.
you have 2 new medical office buildings going in. Just to the south of that, you'll also have this commerce center, which we know the anchor of that is going to be City Electric. And so you've heard us talk about City Electric before. City Electric is going to build a 400,000 square foot manufacturing facility and a warehouse facility right there in the Commerce Center. We're going to retain, and because they were looking to move to 3 other cities.
Right.
But they're staying put right here in PSL. And why wouldn't you, sir? Why wouldn't you live in PSL? That's our guest.
We
was
all
it, Was
do.
it Dan? What? Don. Sorry, Don. So he's going to end up making a logical decision, just like City Electric, and that's PSL is the place to be. But in addition to that 400,000 square feet, it's over $40 million investment, and it's a big win. And really, we should be thankful to the governor and our state leadership that they saw fit to invest in Port St. Lucie.
Right.
And it's going to improve our economy. And unfortunately, one of our local newspapers, I think quickly becoming my least favorite local newspaper.
Was it ever your favorite?
No, wanted to cast this as in a negative light. And they really wanted to cast it as something not to celebrate, but to label it as a gift to a private entity. And it's unfortunate because it's a reimbursable grant to the city for a public road for public benefit. And the definition of a gift is that I give you something and receive nothing in return.
Right.
The state is paying up to $3 million with the expectation of over 1 million square feet and 1,000 jobs. And based on City Electric alone, knows that it's going to receive $12.61 back for every dollar it invests in the road, that it spends on the road. So folks, if you give someone $1 with the expectation of getting $12.61 back, that's not a gift, that's an investment. And if you don't believe me, you just have to look it up in Webster's.
Gift and investment. And how does this job growth grant, I'm familiar with the grant. We wrote a letter because we do very much support the Loop Road. We know that it will really spur some more commerce out there. We've got to get the infrastructure. That's typically how it goes. Nobody wants to come and build from scratch. That's very rare. So we're very excited that City Electric is going to do that. Now, how does this job growth grant work? Is it benchmarked in any way? Or this is actually, and are they calling it an actual JGIG? Because I know that...
Say that 3 times fast.
Like Beetlejuice? I'm afraid of what might happen if I say it 3 times.
If we get more grants, then you should
I know. Oh, JGIG, JGIG, JGIG. All right, so how does it work? Because is it the same thing as a typical job growth grant, where you have to benchmark jobs in order to
we have to live up to everything in the application. And the thing that the state did is they didn't want to make it to one private entity. So really, it's an agreement with the city for a public road, and with the expectation that those jobs are going to be created. So
okay,
it's going to happen. And I point to this as we have been a case study in what can happen with economic development if you upfront money,
which you're not a fan of.
If you provide cash, and we're not a fan of that.
No.
If you were a fan of it before, you certainly should have learned the lessons made available by digital domain and others. But investment in infrastructure is a classic. Right this very second, at every level of government, governments are investing in roads.
Oh, you have to.
I mean, think about the Florida Department of Transportation, what it spends a year, probably $8 to $10 billion every single year, and every piece of infrastructure touches property somewhere. So it's unfortunate that we chronicle the losses that we've had and some of the defeats.
Yeah.
I think it's very sad that our local paper doesn't report on the victories and the wins in the same way. And I'm truly serious about this. This is not just a politician taking, issue with a headline. I really think, and I joked before, this is why we can't have nice things, how TC Palm has negatively impacted our community's self-image. I'm serious about that. That's a coming op-ed, folks. So this community, due to circumstances and decisions that were made with imperfect information, has made some
Mistakes.
Yeah,
But everybody's
just using the Mets, they've taken some big swings and missed.
Yeah.
But we've learned from it. We've changed the rules. Can't happen again. And you can't cast everything in the same light and keep kicking yourself. Can't
It's
do
not,
it.
you can't do apples and oranges. It's not the same thing, but it's really like a bad marriage with you in the newspaper. For every new thing, they bring up every argument they've ever had, in a lifetime, and throw that right back in your face. And it's really unfair. It doesn't pertain to the situation at all.
No, the classic line is, never fight a war with someone who buys their ink by the barrel.
Well.
But you can't win one. But
And you don't want to buy that ink.
No, heck no. But interestingly enough, we're going to have a little fun with this. There were 9 cities that won the grant, and we're going to see how many of those cities did an article on the story, how fast, how soon after the announcement, and whether they were positive or negative. And so I always believe in analyzing things from an objective perspective, and we'll see.
We'll see how it goes. See how supportive other newspapers are, is what you're saying.
Well, just to see how it's not their job to be supportive. It's
No.
their job to report the news. But that's report, not opine.
I understand it's not their job to be supportive, but I don't think it's their job to be destructive at the same time.
Well, exactly.
Yeah. Very good.
Oh, and then, it's always fun to remind them, and I think because they have so much turnover, they don't remember. Scripps, the publisher for TC Palm, received economic development incentives to be in St. Lucie West. So there's
Yeah.
always that. Maybe we
Well,
can
they're
title
not
the article
Scripps
Hypocrisy.
anymore, so they're gonna. But bad marriage goes both ways. Throw that argument up too.
I'm ready for a divorce.
All right.
Everyone read Hometown and Your Voice.
Your voice in news is fine, Steve, and they'll appreciate that plug. All right, what else we got going on?
I don't know. I'm just consumed by that.
I know, I could tell. He was reading that when we came in, and I thought, oh, something's going on with him today. He's really confused. We have some questions in the audience, but why don't we do that after we get with Sean and do something positive for everything, a little bit not so
Where's his award at?
cheery.
It should be with the birthday.
We got a
Well,
Here's the Tristan Aronson Award.
that's what they're going to have to get. That's what they got today. I don't have it, but we will get it.
All right, so I'll go do some breathing exercises.
You breathe.
You
I'm going to
break
draw
on.
something on a blank piece of paper that looks very frameable. And I'm going to, and then we'll meet back here in just a few minutes to do something very positive in our community.
All right.
All right, we'll be right back, everybody. Welcome back, everybody, to Coffee with the Mayor. I'm Trissa Aronson from the St. Lucie County Chamber of Commerce. I'm absolutely happy to be here with my co-host, the one, the only, Honorable Gregory Oravec, Mayor of this beautiful city. And we are right now going to do something we enjoy doing every month. I have finally learned the name after 3 years, but we are going to present the Community Impact Award to this lovely lady right here. Sean, tell us a little bit about her.
Sure. We do the award each month. Well, first of all, Don, out in the audience, I came from Chicago to here, so I can talk to you about it. I went back to Chicago last year in the winter. Big mistake. Big mistake.
Yes. All you have to do is a split screen of the weather in Chicago and
Yeah,
down here right now, and done.
2 of us from Chicago. That's
There we go. There we go. Come here, please. Three. All right.
Three.
Sorry, I sidetracked. So we do this
did.
award each month.
Yes.
To celebrate those people that work hard every single day to make our community better.
Absolutely.
Now, we at the Children's Services Council, we've brought people in here before that are, working with kids directly and, parents and all that. And at the Children's Services Council, we have 3 customers. This is our business model.
Okay.
Because, customer service is key to any good business, good customer service. So our 3 customers are the children and families in our community.
All right.
The programs that we fund and partner with.
Yep.
And the taxpayers.
You guys have a lot of lists.
3 people, 3.
But you have 5 areas of impact.
Do you know what they are?
Healthy babies, kids off the street, keeping kids off drugs and alcohol, keeping kids in school, and stopping abuse before it happens.
Wow.
Nailed it.
Thank you.
So that long list of 3 customers.
I did see a vitamin. I saw a receipt in her purse for Vitamin Shop.
Yeah, that's right. She's got it. She's got it.
Ginkgo's finally paying off.
But we were talking about this award. We just released our program accountability report because we are here because of the community, and it's online on our website, so you can look and see what we funded and who we partnered with and how they performed. But a big part of that is the financial piece.
Of
because
course.
it's not our money, it's your money, the community's money. So we
Right.
need to account for every single penny that we spend as a Children's Services Council. And in turn, we ask our agencies to put together really comprehensive, tight financial packages because we reimburse. We need to go to the taxpayer and say, I can tell you where every single penny of your money went.
Right.
So this month, we are awarding somebody from the finance department of one of our funded programs. Everybody's very familiar with Big Brothers Big Sisters.
Of course we are.
We fund 3 programs with them. The biggest emphasis is Reading Mentors. January was Mentoring Month.
Yes?
So this month, we are presenting the Community Impact Award to Caitlin Albrecht. Did I say it right?
Yes, you
the
did.
Director of Finance for the Big Brothers Big Sisters
Well,
agency.
congratulations, Caitlin. Thank you. I love that you said you reimburse because, like the mayor said, they do the programs, they show their benchmarks, and then they get the funds. So that's great. But that's probably the hardest part, is because you have to track everything that you spend and where it goes, and so no easy task. Correct?
Correct, but I enjoy it, so it's a perfect fit.
It is. You're a numbers person.
I am, yes.
She was real excited to get up here in front of the crowd today.
So this is second nature to you.
No, I like to stay hidden in my little room and just look at my computer
She's
screen.
like, could you just mail me the award? That'd be fine. with me."
yeah,
But we're like,
and-
no, you have to come here.
And so she has to come and put up with this. So,
If you get
yeah.
nervous, I want you to know that there's a lot more people that watch online and on cable TV.
Right.
Yes.
Awesome.
And then plus,
And they can rewind.
we're
and rewind.
replayed over and over.
Over and over,
again.
yes.
And you don't probably have any political enemies, but if you did, they could do screen captures and embellishments.
Oh, and the comments go on
it's
for
amazing
days.
the technology today. Yeah.
On the newspaper, too.
Yes, yes.
Joy.
In preparation
I
for
can feel my knees
this.
knocking.
Yes, especially now. Yeah, absolutely.
In preparation for this, I told her, I said, just a 5 or 10 minute monologue was fine. So.
Okay, yes. Something from Shakespeare. What do you got?
Thank you.
Well done. Well, congratulations.
Congratulations.
Thank you.
How big is your budget over there? I mean, it's large. I mean, it's a huge program. We have a very large county. I think people don't realize that. So you're dealing with a lot of numbers, a lot of kids, right?
Yes, we have about 18, 17 kids that we serve. And then we currently just passed our 2018 budget, and it is a $1.7 million budget.
And just, you serve more than 18 kids.
18, 17.
Oh. We were thinking you were saying a range 18 to 17.
No.
Tristan and I kind of looked at each other like, that's not very many.
We're not numbers people.
1,000, and you guys are multi-county as well.
Yes.
We are. We're a tri-county area.
Okay, she was speaking account. I was like, 18
Yeah.
kids.
Yeah. You and I looked at each other like, that can't be right.
Very good. We're trying to understand your language.
Yeah,
It
well, I'm a
was
little bit
difficult one.
nervous, so it's probably not coming out.
No.
You are fine. It's us that kind of messed it up.
The mayor can attest. Well, congratulations again.
Thank you.
And to all the great work that everybody over there at Big Brothers Big Sisters
Great
does.
job.
Judy Miller and Rachel, all of those guys. So congratulations.
Thank you.
Let's use this opportunity to plug the Big Brothers Big Sisters. So one of the many programs that they have is they partner with our community on the St. Lucie Source program, Reading Mentoring program. And if you haven't done it already, you can go out there and you can change lives and you can make our community more prosperous by working with elementary kids. And we want to get to them by 3rd grade. Remember that, when you think about prosperity, how do you get there? work and a profession. How do you get to work, profession? How do you get to any knowledge in life? Reading. Reading is the gateway to all knowledge. It's the gateway to prosperity. Reading, if we're going to get to our kids and make them the best readers that they can be, statistics show that we got to get to them by 3rd grade. If we don't get to kids by 3rd grade, and they're not reading on level by 3rd grade, they're 4 times more likely to end up in poverty than their peers. And if you add poverty to their home life, they're 13 times less likely, 13 times less likely to graduate. Mm-hmm. So we got to get to them by 3rd grade. And this program that our award winner and others are behind the scenes propping up is so important. You can make a difference by becoming a big brother, big sister. I do it. My little brother is Mason. He's at Bayshore Elementary. He's a great kid. And we get together once a week, on Mondays. And you can just make a difference. And you make a difference in the child's life. You don't know all the impact that you might have. But one thing is for sure, you'll change their lives and you'll change yours.
Very good. The mayor always puts his money where his mouth is, so he is in there every Monday with Mason. So thank you for that.
Yeah, except technically this Monday we had a dedication for Lake Harvey. So I owe him a day. But just in case you check up on me, I want you to know I had to be in St. Lucie West on Monday.
You just sold yourself out.
I'm a full disclosure guy, folks. You should know that about me by now.
He could be watching now. You want to read something to him?
Well, actually, he reads to me.
Don't
So
read the book.
yeah. I know how to read pretty well. Did pretty well on the SAT, just for the record.
Okay. Very good. Well, congratulations again. Thank you to Sean and all the work they do at the Children's Services Council.
Thank you for having us on. We appreciate it.
Bringing this program to
stand
us.
on here?
No, you cannot. No. I will push him.
Get up there, Sean.
And thanks to
can
all
dunk
of you.
again.
We'll be right back, everybody.
We're back.
We're back. Welcome back to Coffee with the Port St. Lucie Mayor. I'm Trissa Aronson. I'm here with the mayor of
Greg Orbeck.
Yes. We're going to finish up the show today. We got some special announcements, some things we're going to ask our residents to get involved in. What do you got coming up?
Well, first, I want to say in that first segment, I'm sorry that I took us on a path, but we're very passionate about Port St. Lucie.
You are very passionate.
We're very proud of the direction that we're going in. We're good and we're getting even better. And when people take cheap shots, I want to go out there and carry the flag and try to correct it. But I have to be careful that I don't get consumed by that, and that I continue to press all the great things that we're doing, including that, which was a great thing, by the way.
It is. Don't let them take that away from you.
Yeah, us, and having the lowest unemployment rate that probably we've ever had, to create the
Highest graduation rate we've ever had.
to have the highest number of created jobs we've ever had.
Yep.
And just all the great things that are happening. And so because our foundation is so strong, and remember, our vision's pretty simple. We want to be a safe, beautiful, prosperous city for all people, for everybody. All right, it's not official yet, but we just got the stats in from the Florida Department of Law Enforcement. Crime rate's down again. We're going to again be the safest large city in Florida. So that's something good. And when you go around the city, we're beautifying it, working with our citizens in many different ways. We got the utility box wraps out there. We just cloaked the FPL substation at the Turnpike entrance, and give that a season to grow, and it's going to be special. You got people out there like my friends Gary and Kay that are out there picking up litter all the time, with people serious about litter. And so because things are good and our foundation's strengthening, thought it'd be fun to throw out a couple challenges to the community, have some fun. So this is a year, 2018 is going to be a year of a couple challenges. So one, we have the Billion Steps Challenge. Right now, we have a Billion Steps Challenge now. So if you can do it, we want you to be part of it. We're working with our partners at the health department. The Florida Department of Health in St. Lucie is how they like me to say it. And then the Healthy St. Lucie Coalition, they're really behind it. And what we've done is we've said, hey, this year as a community, together, we're going to walk 1 billion with a B or more steps. And with everyone's smartphone, mine actually is over there, so I'm not getting credit for these steps right now. So I'll try to keep it on hold. But with the smartphone or a Fitbit, you count the number of steps you take in a day. And the great thing about being well and living healthy is it doesn't need to be hard. You could just go on a brisk walk every day. So we want you to sign up And there's a couple places you could do it. One of them, cityofpsl.com/billion-steps.
Yep.
And then you can either create a team or you can join a team. So feel free to join Team PSL.
Okay.
But maybe you want to join Team Kings Isle or Team Children's Services Council. Is it
You have a team
CSC?
too?
Or,
Oh,
because maybe, friendly rivalry is a good thing.
the chamber as a whole, our staff does a lot of walking. So
Well, we'll
don't
see,
know.
I guess.
We'll see. Maybe
Yeah.
it will be a challenge. I was going to join one of your teams, but maybe we'll start our own team.
Yeah, let's see what it's all about.
Okay, we'll do that.
But so that's one thing, and then another is the tree challenge. So Port St. Lucie is a tree city. It's recognized by the Arbor Day Foundation, and there's a million reasons to love trees. I'm sure this is recycled paper, but you could have hundreds of reasons. If you go to the Arbor Day Foundation website, there's a million reasons. The things that I like most and that I like to pitch is that it's the single most cost-effective investment you can make in property. And why is that? Because trees are beautiful and we like them.
Yeah.
So it adds value to any property. It's actually the easiest way to improve value. So it makes things more beautiful. And then there's a whole long list of environmental benefits. But to me, the bottom line is the bottom line. And the nice thing about being green is when you get to the bottom line and there's green
Yeah.
down there. And we know that planting trees here in Florida, so you have great winters, Don, but here in Florida, but the summers, they do get warm. We're not going to do any false advertising. You got to hit that AC. But if you put a tree up on the right side of your house, you can save a lot of money. And then here, the river is so important to us, right? Our rivers, the St. Lucie River, the Indian River Lagoon. Guess what?
Trees are natural purifiers.
They are. Guess what else?
What?
They trees.
Tell me.
No, you were perfect. You were perfect. Like I said, firing on all cylinders in 18. So trees, especially trees like oak trees, they can take up to 30% of a rainfall event up through their leaves. It never hits the ground. And then up to another 30% of the rainfall event through the roots. And why is that important? That fresh water that's ruining our rivers, that's picking up contaminants, if it never flows into a ditch or a swale or a canal, it never gets to the river. And so you can make your property, our city, more beautiful and more valuable, sequester carbon, do a million other good things, and save your river. And so I am calling on all of you to help us plant 185,000 trees this year in 2018. And yes, that is a tree for every woman, man, and child.
Very good. And we're all going to do it, right?
We're all going to do it, right?
Okay, good.
Well, I need the hype girl on that.
Nobody listens to me.
We're all going to do it, right? Yes.
Yes,
All right.
yes,
Excellent. Yeah,
right.
that's what I got. Yeah.
Very good. We do recycle everything, even when we file it. When we are able to dispose of everything, we throw it away. But we use the back of everything in our office. We're kind of fanatical about it.
And so you definitely want to push this.
I do. As you know, the Chamber of Commerce is a nonprofit.
How do you spell registration?
REGISTRATION.
All right, excellent.
Just so you know, I had it on my other talk
And
show.
why did I make you spell that?
For the adult spelling bee?
The adult spelling bee, that's right.
Yes. The adult spelling bee is coming up. I actually challenged Paul Tagliari from the Mets.
From the Mets.
On my other show to a spelling
And what
contest.
show do you do with him?
Covering the bases. Covering the bases with the Mets. And of course I won the spelling bee challenge. But I will not be spelling at this bee. I'm hoping you all will be. I will be the enunciator. I don't do great at that. And somebody, I don't know if he's your friend today or not, but Anthony Westbury is usually there to correct me if I say it wrong. But I feel that his English accent.
He didn't write the article, just for that.
Yeah, he did it. But Adult Spelling Bee is going to be at the beautiful Civic Center, the Port St. Lucie Civic Center this year.
We appreciate it.
Yeah, we're excited. We're excited to be there. It's March 28th, so you have plenty of time to register online. You don't have to be a member. Anybody in the community can put a team together. It's teams of 3, spelling typically badly, but together, so you don't feel so isolated or singled out.
It's more pressure than you think, and you do not have the luxury of spell check.
You do not. No. You really get down to the crux of
Can't
are
blame it on
you
Siri.
a good speller or not. But we're going to do it there. We're going to have, some refreshments and all. You can't have the spelling bee without refreshments. Takes a little bit of the edge off, as you know.
I've noticed that at a lot of chamber events, actually. Yeah. Must be a lot of stress there.
There is. We're running businesses all through the county. There's a lot of stress there. So yes, you're right. I've noticed that there is a theme at the chamber events, but you got to know your crowd, know your market.
That's it.
So we always have alcohol at our events, just so you know. But anyway, except for breakfast.
Unless it's mimosa on brunch Sunday. Yes.
So I'm going to invite everybody to come to our website, stluciechamber.org, and register an adult spelling bee team. It's only $100. And again, we are a nonprofit. We are not government funded. I do this show with you, but we're not government funded. You don't give me money to do this show. And so we
Do we
have.
pay a membership?
You do.
Okay.
You do. A small one. But we have to go out in the community and raise funds on our own. So this helps us do that so we can do a lot of the advocacy stuff that we do. And I'm able to be here with you to do this show as well. So please register for that. But if I would have thought about it, we could have done a spelling contest between you and I. But I feel like I maybe can take Paul Taglieri, but not real sure where I might land with you. So I'm not as upset as I should be that we're not doing
I'll
it.
make sure I'm ready.
You have
I'll
done
do a
it
couple
before.
word lists, yes.
You have done, and I think you did quite well in it.
Not that we didn't.
You
we got a
didn't
trophy,
win, but
we
you
didn't
got a
win,
trophy.
So it wasn't good enough.
So that's better than I've ever done. So we're good. So other than that, we have the full list of events at stluciechamber.org that we like to invite people to. We have some that are open to the public. Covering the Bases with the Mets is open to the public, as well as my talk show with the County Commission Chair, which is Franny Hutchinson.
It is. Are we doing Places and Faces?
We were not able to get the right sign off to do it at Savannah, so we're still working on that.
All right.
Yeah. And then I do a new show with Nick Mims, City of Fort Pierce.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah.
Little Nick Mims, city manager action?
Yeah, a little city manager action, so that's a lot of fun too. So anybody can come to any of those. We invite you to do so. I want to thank you so much for joining us today, and I want to thank Silver Platter Entrees for providing the coffee in Danish, and of course your team here at the city.
They're great.
They are great. Your communications department and
Top-notch.
yeah, and
So
Bob.
proud of them. So there's a couple of things. One, is anyone here familiar with their old school rap back in the day when it was just coming up?
I am probably going to be familiar with it, but I don't want to say just quite yet.
Well, we have another special guest today. We have a representative from Holiday Inn. So all today, hotel, motel, Holiday Inn. I'm playing in my head, so I want to say hi to them.
Okay, very good. I'm going to venture to guess she has no idea what that song is.
You don't know hotel, motel, Holiday Inn. Say what? You don't know that? That's crazy to me. It's very important to be well-rounded.
YouTube that and then it'll be stuck in your head like it's now going to be stuck in mine for the rest of the day. Thank you for that.
I like all music. I'm not a huge fan of
Who
country.
was that
There's like
sang
a couple
that?
Garth Brooks songs. That's it.
A couple Garth
Yeah, but
Brooks songs?
everything else I really love.
Okay, very good. Rapper's Delight. Who sang? What was that? Was it Rapper's Delight?
Little Sugar Hill Gang?
Yeah. Sugar Hill Gang, Rapper's Delight. Oh, we are old as mud.
That's one word for it. Now let's hear questions from the audience.
I mean, that's right. We had a question. We totally forgot. I was wrapping up the show.
Brian's always good for a question.
I think Mark
there
had
are other
one.
new faces out there I'd love to hear from. You got Don all the way in from Chicago. He should get a question.
Mark's going to bring over the mic so we can do questions.
Plus, Mark's been doing curls all week just so he could hold that mic.
Good morning, folks.
Good morning.
When is the Route 1 extension going to open?
Route 1 or Crosstown to Route 1?
Crosstown to
I was
Route
going to
1.
say, I didn't know about Route 1.
Yeah, I was like, man, where could it go?
It goes all the way down. Where
Yeah, Key West
Cuba?
to Cuba. That's it. That could be an extension. But we appreciate Brian bringing up the Crosstown Bridge.
Okay.
And it's going gangbusters, and there's an actual countdown clock, both on the city's webpage at cityofpsl.com and then the Crosstown Extension webpage, which is crosstownextension.com. And technically speaking, it's about 633 days or so left. I think the contract says not this November, but the following one of 19. But if they stay on the current track, it's going to get done early. They're really flying. They're doing good work out there.
Pretty sure this is all plastic and man-made materials, but
Well, no.
if you knocked
Yeah,
on
no,
wood,
it's
well, it was the thought. So yeah, very good. Good
Thank
question.
you.
Anybody
Good
else
crosstown.
have a
Great.
question?
One of the biggest stories of 2017, and so please join us February 26th for the State of the City address.
Oh yeah, that's
Yeah,
right. I
that's
forgot. We need to mention that. Yep. And you're going to be doing
Right
that?
here, 6 o'clock.
Yep. Okay,
We get
perfect.
to have cake after.
No other questions? Oh, we have one right up front, Mark. He's coming
Plus,
over.
I want a question from those two right there. You know, make sure you go out to them and get a question from them.
No pressure.
Hi there, Raynell.
Thank you for this opportunity.
Thank you for being here. I'm glad to see you.
This is the first meeting I've had a chance to attend since we talked together. I want to thank Mayor Greg Oravec for his time when he spoke with me for a bit. I had written a letter about the east side of Port St. Lucie and how much I love it and why. And I was invited to talk with him, and we had a very lovely chat together. I would like to comment also and add to the idea of we are trying to keep Florida, Florida, and not
Like that.
allow it to become contaminated, if you will, with the trees and so forth, and the beauty of our city, such a new city, only become in existence officially in 1980, and that we
61.
had an 81.
61.
61. But okay, then that gives us how much time to become the 8th largest city in the state,
Yeah, we've grown fast.
surpassing Fort Lauderdale. So I'm very, in population, I'm very pleased with that. The thing that I want to mention is that
Or ask, because this is the question portion.
my question is, how can we have much more of an awareness of our impact, being such a large city, being right close to waterways and being close to the waterways that are being polluted from the Lake Okeechobee discharges? Can we do more right in our own backyard and front yard? I have my yard, I'm kind of xeriscaping, I confess. I do not have big companies come and pour the fertilizers all over my grass. I just mow my grass. And so what grows, grows. And you know what? It's beautiful. We get Florida snow in the spring, I think in the fall, twice a year. They call it Florida snow.
Those
It's
are
like
the
little flowers that are
when you
considered
look from
invasive.
afar, it looks like
But
the whole
they're
thing is
beautiful.
white. Have you ever
They're
noticed that before?
beautiful.
Yes.
And
I call them weeds.
our neighborhood is starting to do more of this.
It really is.
So
I
I'm
think it is
pleased to
really
say
nice.
that.
You do?
But the idea that we are placing loads of fertilizers and loads of all these things to make it look like England, we are not England. We do not have the climate of England,
Hold on, I
much
gotta go
less
get my
the
tea.
soil of
Okay.
England. To make it a greenway.
So her
a beautiful
question
greenway.
is,
Can we do more? The
can
answer
we do
is,
more?
That's
is
what I
yes.
have to say.
We could.
Okay.
We could.
Thank you for your time.
Oh, I think you have more to say, but that's what we're going to cover this morning. So we could always do more. And in a big picture sense, it's really a big part of my job and the whole council's job, all of your elected officials, is to understand what the issues are, research, educate, advocate. And so we can and should do more. At the same time, I want you to take pride in what we are doing, all right? So you mentioned xeriscape. So xeriscape's already encouraged by our landscape code. Fertilizer ordinance. We, along with all the governments of the Treasure Coast, have already adopted regulations so that you can't use fertilizers that are high in nitrogen and phosphorus in the rainy season. So those kinds of things are already done.
And important.
Exactly. And then by being a Tree City USA and committing to things like planning and having an urban forest, we're there. Our utility, we've carried out one of the largest septic to sewer conversions in the country, over a decade plus, decades now. I got Patricia and Linda Bagley out there. They could
Attest,
they could
yes.
attest and testify if necessary
Yes.
to that. just recently, we had the groundbreaking for the McCarty Ranch Water Quality Project, where we're going to store 9 billion gallons of water. We're going to take 9 billion gallons of water a year, up to 21% of the excess fresh water out of the C-23 canal. And we're going to treat it. And we're going to bring it through a series of filter marshes and eventually have it available for drinking water. So we're on it. We're doing those types of projects every day, but can we do more? Should we do more? My answer to that is yes. And that's why we issue challenges like the tree challenge. And I want you to go to cityofpittsdale.com, iPlant, to make sure that you're part of it. And I'm putting you down for 2 trees, just in case Trista doesn't plant hers.
I will plant
we'll
a
have
tree.
her
I love
covered.
trees.
No, I know. I'm teasing you. I love you, and I know that you'll overperform on that.
I will. It's the reading with kids because I get a cold.
We can't afford to have her take any more sick time.
Yes.
She actually had to borrow from the rest of her staff.
I did. It was so bad. If I get a cold, it's 12 weeks.
All right, I'm looking for a question from those. You got anything?
Well,
you came. I'm so happy to have you. Do you have anything? Is anything? Yeah, anything you ever wanted to know?
Sure, I'll have something.
All right.
He's got something.
Here it comes.
I feel he was forced into it, but I bet he's got something.
Be careful what you ask for,
I know
Orvek.
I didn't intend to say anything, but you.
I know. I've really pushed it, so here it comes.
Well, my name is Mark Williams.
Mr.
My
Williams.
wife Terry.
Nice to meet you both.
Thank you so much for
We live
coming. We're
over
glad to have
in
you.
the southwest side of the city.
Southwest side, okay.
And my wife and I volunteer with the city for litter control and,
give them a
trying to
round of applause.
control some of the city. But I'm sorry.
Is it with Keep Port St. Lucie Beautiful?
Oh, of course.
Yes.
Yeah, thank you.
But I am continually amazed at the amount of trash that goes out a car window. And I really would like to see something from the city, some campaign or something that gets notice out that, your window is not a lid to a trash can for all your garbage to go out. And I would like to see something from the city.
We need our own don't pollute, give a hoot, don't pollute. We need our own campaign like that, is what he's saying.
Yeah, we really need a moving one, and I can't thank you enough for volunteering, Mr. and Mrs. Williams, and you got
Or voluntolding.
and we have our good friend Gary Smith right there, who's really also passionate about it.
Yeah.
And if you're in the trenches and you're fighting to keep Port St. Lucie beautiful, you really do get disgusted about the litter, because it's a never-ending war, really. It's a never-ending battle. And if you pick this up yourself, you know that the bulk of that litter is coming from fast food.
Oh, definitely.
Convenience stores.
Water bottles.
Because it is bags of fast food, it is beer cans and other things related to alcohol, smoking, and the lotto.
Yeah.
And honest to goodness, that is the bulk of the litter out there. I personally, as you know, I participate and have adopted my street and pick up litter everywhere I go. I just took a hubcap out of my car this morning because there's just, when you see it, it's there. Now, we need to work, and Gary and I have been talking about this for a long time. We need to find a way to enforce the litter ordinance. But in addition to what Keep Port St. Lucie Beautiful does, and we actually send Anna Marie out to speak to businesses, I'm going to also start following up with letters and personal visits. And again, right now, can we do more? Should we do more? The answer is yes. So I would ask all of you, we're essentially ambassadors of the city. You care enough to spend your Friday morning with us. I'd ask you that everywhere that you go, that you see litter on a regular basis, I'd ask that you very politely speak to the general manager about the state of affairs at that business, and that it matters to you as a consumer, and that you like going to the place, and you hope to continue to do so, but the litter is very off-putting, and it's changing your perception of the business. And you need them to be part of keeping Port St. Lucie beautiful. It's that kind of grassroots action. You don't have to be obnoxious. You don't have to be confrontational. That's not going to work. You got to just understand, connect, and make a difference. And that's what it's going to take. It's really going to take us building that up, getting into the schools, Sean Boyle,
Teaching them young.
leveraging Children's Services Council, working with the school district to create a generational change. And then we have to continue to do our job to not only research, educate, and advocate, we need to bring people together.
We need to get out and pick it up ourselves too. I mean, water ends, drainage ditches end on my property, so I have grabbers everywhere because it's a constant battle to keep my view free of mostly fast food and water bottles, soda bottles, that sort of thing. Yeah, we all have to do our part. But I thought we had a generation that was being more educated on environmental issues, so it's really disheartening when I see it. And I have seen people throw trash out their window. And it makes me so angry. Yeah.
For me, it's actually worse than how I started with complaining about the paper. That's how
I know, you're so passionate. I don't know how you could do it, but yeah, you're very, very passionate. I would hate to be the guy that throws out trash in front of the mayor. And just like, really, don't you feel like, although, no, I don't want to see that in the paper.
Road rage, actually.
Yeah, I know. Road rage, trash, and it'll get all your rages out in one. But yeah, very good.
How would I feel if they threw the newspaper out? Terrible. Yeah. Really set me right up.
All right. Well, I think we have run out of time.
Thank you for being here.
Thank you
for keeping Port St. Lucie
And I'm
beautiful.
sure he'll stay behind and answer any questions that any of you want to ask him privately. But we are
Don,
running
you got
out.
one for the road?
We're running
As our
out of
guest
time
from
on the
Chicago?
Sure, I'll ask one.
Yeah.
All right. Well, I've tried three times unsuccessfully to wrap this thing up. So I give up.
This is my favorite part of the show.
I see that.
Thank you.
Well, we all live here now.
Last night I attended what I think was the future Westmoreland Park River Nights.
Oh, excellent.
It was just east of here, across the St. Lucie River. There was music, food, drinks. Future Westmoreland Park is what I saw on the city website on the calendar. Does that mean there's supposed to be some future development there in that area?
Park development. So thank you you're doing a great job of really checking out the local flavor. So we have a master plan for that property. It's going to be park because that's one of our few opportunities. Right now we're a city of 185,000, probably on our way to 400,000 and change. And that is one of the only developable pieces on the water. So rather than go with commercial development, with one exception I'm going to get to, that it's park and open space. We're relocating 2 historic homes there that will provide an opportunity maybe for a group like the Historical Society or others to operate our own little museum there on the waterfront. And as you know, it's right next to Botanical Gardens, which is great and getting better every year. And there's a boardwalk currently on the North Fork of the St. Lucie River from Rivergate Park, and it stops at the bridge. That's actually going to connect to the Westmoreland Park property, and there's going to be dockage there, so you'll be able to bring your boat there. In addition to just having a great park and a place to celebrate birthdays and holidays and life, you're going to be able to bring your boat to a waterfront restaurant. And so there's not going to be much commercial there, but what is going to be there is what's really missing from Port St. Lucie, and I emphasize the port, is a waterfront destination. So as you evaluate our lifestyle, that's one of those things that we need, and that site's going to provide it. So you'll have, it's going to be outstanding. It's going to be beautiful.
Quality of life item that we really did need. So
that is in the works this year. In fact, the bid's probably hitting the street. The homes will be relocated, and the infrastructure will go in on the site. And we've had a request for letters of interest from restaurateurs on the waterfront dining, because we really want their input on what the elevation should be, what it should look like, how it should be serviced. But that's exciting. It's one of our exciting projects, and thank you for keying in on it.
It's going to be beautiful. By the time you go home and get your stuff and come back down, it'll be beautiful.
There will be elements of construction. The waterfront dining won't be there quite yet, but it is.
Chicago's a long way away. I'm just teasing.
Well, after he's been here, he's going to come back quick.
Yeah, okay. Very good. All right.
you.
Thank you for your question. And now, with no further questions, right?
How do you spell anti-disestablishmentarianism?
We do not have that kind of time. I'm trying to wrap this up.
Thank you, everybody.
Thank you. Thank you to the mayor. Thank you to everybody. Thank you. Have a great day, everyone.